Today is the day. For many of you, you'll be seeing Rise of the Skywalker, and I am so happy for many of you. I hope you enjoy it. If you didn't already see my review, go check it out. If you want to go in fresh, good for you. No spoilers here. We will be getting all into our spoilers Friday evening for a special extravaganza, Nerd Wars, special guests including Boogie, a lot of other people. So make sure to set that reminder for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Rise of Skywalker spoiler chat. Hopefully you guys have seen it. We'll see it today, tonight, tomorrow, and then be able to join us. But before we do that, obviously there's still a lot to digest. And I'm trying to find sort of related Star Wars stories to talk about without spoiling anything. And this one really struck me because, look, I have a lot of feelings about Rian Johnson. I know we all do. But I'm starting to have some regrets. And I'm going to form my thoughts out better in a later video for maybe this weekend. But I want to share this quote because it came out last night, and I think it's important for us to see it and hear him out. He's basically got all over the press due to this podcast he did, where he basically said pandering to fans is a mistake. Now, that might seem like a really dangerous thing for him to say, given how much fans hate him, and it might seem like sour grapes. But let's hear him out. He was on the Swing and a Misses podcast. Cody Decker, you may remember him from Screen Junkies days. Jen Sturger, I like those two, the big fan. Good for them. They got Rian Johnson in. Let's hear the quote in question. We'll go from there.
You can't please every fan in the world. Fans are especially fans of huge tentpole things. Like I'm amazed that everyone walked away from Avengers Endgame happy.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised it didn't just piss off 50% of people.
People are just angry.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But I mean, how much of it comes in there? Telling your story that is the right way to tell it, to trying to make certain subsects of fandom happy.
Good question.
I don't think that. I think approaching any creative process with anything, with that second thing that you said, it would be a mistake that would lead to probably the exact opposite result.
Yeah.
I think, and that's something where, even my experience as a fan, if I'm coming into something, even if it's something I think I want, if I see exactly what I think I want on the screen, it's like, oh, okay. It might make me smile and make me feel neutral about the thing, and I won't really think about it afterwards. But that's not really going to satisfy me. For me, what I'm aiming for every time I sit down in a theater is to have the experience that you're describing with Empire Strikes Back, something in a way that's emotionally resonant and doesn't and feels like it connects up and makes sense and really gets to the heart of what this thing is, and in a way that I never could have seen coming. And I want to be shocked. I want to be surprised. I want to be thrown off guard. I want to have things recontextualized. I want to be challenged as a fan when I sit down in the theater. Yeah. So I think what you want from a movie guides inevitably how you go about making them. So.
That's it.
So there you go. That's the full context of the interview, and it's important to sort of people have been pulling out certain paragraphs, but that's the whole sort of section they discuss. And look, I think he's right. You can say whatever you want about Last Jedi. That is your right. I probably agree with you. I don't agree with all the choices that were made. But were they all Rian Johnson's fault, for one, is the real question we need to ask now. And after you see Rise of Skywalker and that digests with you, was the Disney machine, could they have been to blame for some of the decisions that Rian did make or was forced to make? And the bigger question for me is, what he said about, what he says about here, about being shocked, be surprised, thrown off guard, have things recontextualized, to be challenged as a fan when I sit down in the theater. Look, he did that with Last Jedi. Fans didn't like it. Does that mean he should have turned around and placated the fans? That's what JJ does in Rise of Skywalker. So it's something to think about as we watch Rise of Skywalker more intently, and as you guys finally see it for yourselves, and we sit and process it, and we'll be talking about it Friday for sure. I'm challenged myself now to wonder, did we really ask for this? Is this what we wanted? I'm so curious to see as the fans go see it, all sorts of fans, not just the diehard fans. To me, again, I've called diehard fans the ones who will basically see anything Star Wars does. A lot of people are calling me out saying, that's not fair. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan too, and I don't like it. Of course, we're all fans. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm just a different Star Wars fan than you versus someone down the street. We all have different versions of our fandom for Star Wars. But for me, I'm just I don't know how to call it. The diehards, I will do anything for Star Wars fans. They're still going to have some problems with it. But they liked Last Jedi. They liked Solo. They liked everything that's been coming out because they support, Star Wars or Disney or whatever. And so that's sort of the new diehard fan. Doesn't mean you're not a old fan of Star Wars or the original Star Wars. Again, let's not get lost in the semantics. My point being, there are plenty of fans, obviously, of Star Wars who don't like what Rian Johnson did, and I think there's a lot of fans of Star Wars who will not like what JJ did. And so we're in this weird divide now where I think the real bottom line was a lack of creative vision. And I actually now, sitting with it, applaud Rian Johnson for taking those risks, for attempting to try and do something new. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, I think, again, from a story structure standpoint, I wasn't a fan. There's a lot of problems with it. Everyone knows. We've talked about it. But it took risks. It did take some risks. And when I first saw it, I was out of commission. I wasn't online, and I wasn't stuck in film Twitter when I saw it. It didn't bother me as much as everyone else did. I just sort of didn't care that much. And I saw it, and it was like a nice big distraction. But it surprised me, and I was sort of on the edge of my seat, like, whoa, where's this going? And I wish it had gone in different directions. That's just my own creative brain going. But at the end of the day, I applauded him for taking risks and taking me somewhere that I didn't expect. Now, I didn't like it, but I still, in hindsight now, I prefer him taking those risks than I do now with JJ placating the fans to such a serious degree that he does in this new movie. And that's going to be the conversation I think we all need to sort of come head to head with of, was it right to sort of turn to the fans? Now, I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, right? We could have found somewhere in the middle where we're pleasing the fans, but we're not doing it so blatantly obvious that like JJ is doing. I think that's obviously they're all sort of to blame in a way. There's a lot more people to blame than just Rian Johnson. But the vitriol we gave him, it was brutal, guys. This guy was through the mud, and you can say, "Oh, he didn't care. He screws the fans." Like he might not have cared about your specific fandom of what you want. There's a lot of entitlement in fandom today. Of we deserve this, we deserve to be heard in our way, and that's where I think we're getting really into a dangerous place. Sorry. No one deserves anything. They're movies. We either we can enjoy them, just like we have a right to not enjoy them. They have a right to do whatever the heck they want. And just don't go see them. But there is an entitlement now that's brewing about fandom now, not just Star Wars, DC, Marvel, everywhere. And it's a dangerous road. So we have to be careful. And I think he's right. If you keep giving in to the fans, bad stuff can happen. It's not actually going to provide what you think. And to me, he's saying these quotes, and he's saying them sort of in a way where you can just tell, like, he knows in his heart that Rise of Skywalker is the complete opposite, and that people who think they want what they think, they're going to get it at this new one, and they're going to be disappointed. And then there'll be some who won't, who will like whatever they sort of the hardcore fans. I guess maybe I need to come up with a term for that. The diehards who will just do anything for it. Some of them will love it. Obviously, there is stuff to love in this movie. If you are a fan of Force Awakens and a fan of Last Jedi, I really think you're going to like this movie a lot. If you liked both of those movies, if somehow they both pleased you, this to me is gonna work for you. But if you were only a fan of Force Awakens, I sense this one's definitely more your cup of tea. But if you otherwise from there, I don't know. I was a fan of Force Awakens. Last Jedi was very mediocre for me. This one was, I think, it is the worst of the three for me. I really do think they go down in chronological order. But I'm going to go evaluate all the movies and reevaluate and sit with it for a bit and post some videos next week, rewatching all the Star Wars films and sort of now with all of the 9 movies now out there. I'm looking forward to doing that. Anyway, bottom line of this video, though, I do think it's important, before you just go attack him again, say, no, he ruined Star Wars, watch Rise of Skywalker tonight, tomorrow, whenever. I think it's good you watch it so you're in the conversation. You're not making assumptions and just hating fans and saying things. Look, you're allowed to like it, of course. I'm not telling you not to like it. And people out there are sort of cheering of its demise. I don't understand it. I don't understand that. It's not my style. Go like the movie. You're allowed. I really didn't like the movie, and I just love talking about it. I love talking movies with someone who did and having those arguments and just having a back and forth. Doesn't mean they're not allowed to like the movie. Doesn't mean I'm not allowed to not like the movie. That's the beauty of movies, criticism, and having these types of channels. So I will continue to have this dialogue with you. I'm going to continue to be upfront on my feelings. I look forward to sharing them unchained with spoilers Friday night. So come join us for those who get to see it before then. If you didn't get to see it Friday night, don't worry. It'll be up there, and just come watch it after you see it. But I'm looking forward to have that conversation with you, getting a deep dive. And one I'm going to have, and I wanted to put this out there so we can have this question ready. Were we unfair to Rian Johnson? Does he have a point? Is pandering to the fans dangerous, and is Rise of Skywalker the mistake of pandering to fans? People are sort of, yay, we did it. We destroyed Star Wars and we won. But no, I don't think we did win. How is that a win? How is it a win that Star Wars is now in flames? How is it a win? It's a failure. For a lot of us who just wanted to go have an enjoyable Star Wars. And now, to be fair, I think some of you will have an enjoyable Star Wars with Rise of Skywalker. I've talked to a couple friends who I was surprised how they liked it more. As we sat, it seems like they had problems with it, but they were able to enjoy it. I wish I had been able to enjoy it as much as they did. So I know some of you will. So make up your own mind. Go see it. I look forward to your thoughts. Let's have them Friday night. Stay tuned for more videos here. Be sure to join as well as subscribe if either way to this channel. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll be back with more videos coming soon. Thanks, everybody. May the Force be with all of us through this divisive time. Bye.